Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! This is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you in the month of December, since it is Christmas time and the holiday time, about Two Broke Girls Season 1, A Very Christmas Turkey. This is technically a Thanksgiving episode. However, there's not much Thanksgiving stuff that actually goes on, even though it is set in the time of Thanksgiving month. However, it has more of a Christmas theme, so that's why I'm reviewing this for Christmas instead of Thanksgiving. Two Broke Girls. I love this show. Well, I used to love this show. Not every season's good. The first season is by far the best. Season 2 is pretty good, but there's 3 things that bug me in Season 2. Season 3 is a complete mess. Season 4 is pretty okay. And then whatever seasons are left, I can't stand. And the reason why I can't stand those other seasons and why Season 1 is the best is because by somewhere in Season 2, they lost the premise of what the show was supposed to be about. 2 actual broke girls, one extremely poor girl and one rich girl turned poor. By the other seasons, the girls started having some success and everything. They started getting a taste of Max for the most part started getting like a taste of like the rich life and everything, and a successful life and a business life and a happier life. That should have waited to like somewhere towards the end of like the series, but it started happening quickly and stuff. Also, the supporting cast started being like major players. Now, I am happy to see the supporting cast get more of a role because they are on the show and they do help make the show funnier. However, they went way too far with some of the storylines where it started focusing primarily on them. The whole Sophie and Olaf like marriage baby thing, that took up too much of the series, not the seasons, but the series. The reason why Season 2 bugged me a little bit, even though I like Season 2, is that I don't like Caroline's boyfriend. That dude cannot act. He has dry humor wit, which is like, he's not even good at it. Second, 2 things happened in that season that should have never happened that early on. The girls got their cupcake business, which was the premise of the first season, and the audience got to meet Caroline's father. I felt like Caroline's father should have waited until a couple of seasons, and they should have got their cupcake business towards the last season. The fact that they got their cupcake business, then lost it very quickly, it doesn't matter because they succeeded in what they wanted to do. And the fact that they succeeded broke the premise of the show for me. Also, I didn't picture Caroline's father to look the way he does. Like, the actor is good. I remember him from another show, but he just doesn't seem like he's an older, like, rich guy who embezzled money, you know? So they miscast that big time, and he's too nice. But yes, Two Broke Girls was hilarious back in the day. And this episode is very hilarious. Now, I will go do a season rundown or a series rundown at some point, but I'm just going to give you the gist. Basically, what it is Max, the dark-haired one. She's very mean, sarcastic, rude, blunt. She grew up extremely poor, very rough upbringing and stuff. Caroline, the blonde one, she is the sweetheart one. She's a little sarcastic. She grew up super rich, and then her father lost all their money, and Max had to take her in. And the premise also is so that Caroline can understand what it's like to be a real person with real person needs and struggles being poor. Max, the whole good thing about Caroline is she brings out the humanity in Max. Max used to hate everything and everybody, but Caroline changed all that. So this episode starts off and they're having like, they're at the diner. That's where they work at. It's like a little crappy diner with this like Russian cook dude who's very, very, very horny, very sexually perverted. If this show was made today, he would not be like that. And then they have Han, who is like the manager, who is a dude from like another country, Asian, but he talks with a fake Asian accent because the actor doesn't speak that way. Also, Olaf don't speak that way either. And then there's Earl, the older black guy who, I don't know what he does. I think he takes the money and stuff like that. So anyway, So Olaf's the cook, Earl's like the dude who manages the money, and then the girls are the waitresses, and Han is the dude who manages everything. Sophie has not been brought in yet. I do like Sophie. I do like the actress who plays Sophie, but they kind of overdid her when she started stealing the show, and that's when the show got too wacky and went weird. So anyway, they're at the diner and they're talking about stuff, and Max is being her blunt, rude self, and Caroline's being her chipper self, and they're talking about like Thanksgiving dinner for like the homeless and stuff like that. And so they're all gonna pitch in money to buy a bunch of turkeys and have Thanksgiving dinner for the homeless. Now we never get to see this. Because in the next scene they had just said goodbye to all the homeless people. Han thought one of them like stole his wallet, but they didn't. Um, and so, like, when they're back home, Caroline has a horse that she keeps in their backyard, and they live in an apartment, so that's rough, you know. And so it's winter time, and they're doing their cupcake business. That's Caroline's idea because she found out Max can like cook cupcakes really well, so they're gonna have a cupcake business. So that was the whole premise of the show that got rushed towards somewhere in the second season. So anyway, um. Caroline wants to learn how to cook because she's never cooked before. What the world was that screaming noise outside? Boy, I swear, all these new people. Anyway, I wonder did y'all hear that? So anyway, Caroline wants to learn how to cook because she's spoiled, rich, rotten, and never learned how. So Max tries to teach her. Max is talking about how she has to get like hammered baked before she can teach Caroline before she knows how to bake. This is one of those first shows that started showing a lot of drug references in like comedies, sitcoms, which I hated because I don't do drugs and I don't like the idea of drugs. And I remember this was one of the first shows, and then they started showing people smoking weed and all this other stuff. I'm just like, what happened to TV? So anyway, she's teaching her how to do that, and Caroline's all happy and chipper every time she does something good, and Max is all like, we are not going to celebrate every time you do something good. Max is very blunt. One thing about Max is that she always wears like a belt that gives her an hourglass figure because she's very curvaceous. Caroline always wears these like huge pearl necklaces from back in her day. She was supposed to give them up, but she ended up stealing them before like the repo man came and got them. So like Caroline's doing everything, but they have a crappy mixer that doesn't have like a lid on top. So Caroline doesn't put like a towel on top and it goes everywhere. And then when it goes everywhere, she freaks out and she slips and falls and she breaks the mixer. This angers Max, of course. So they go to like the shopping store to buy a new one, but Caroline is shocked and surprised that they cost like a lot of money because, you know, she doesn't even shop for herself. She shops for clothes, but she just points, pouts, and then people buy stuff for her and stuff. So Max is all like, well, there's something we can afford, a spoon. And Caroline's all like, geez, they really are that poor. So in this episode, Caroline keeps talking about like all her Christmas memories that she used to have with her dad before she became poor. And she can't wait to see her dad at the jail cell and stuff. So anyways, Caroline sees something about Santa elves. So she tells Max, no, let's like volunteer and do that. And so we can make some really good money and get a good mixer and stuff. Of course, Max doesn't want to do it because Max does not like being around people. The only person she loved before she met Caroline was Earl. And so Caroline's now her new bestie and stuff. So while they're in line waiting for like to be interviewed and stuff, there's a woman there. And she's like 30 something years old. And she is getting on Max's nerve. But Caroline loves this woman. The woman name is Mary, Mary. And she loves the Christmas holiday. So her family used to call her Merry Christmas. Max is super annoyed. She's all like, and so she's being rude to the woman and stuff like that. Caroline is like, stop. And then Max is all like, the woman's 30. And everything. So Caroline them in their 20s. So in a way, they get the jobs and stuff like that. And when they get their uniforms, Caroline does not like her uniform. This show has a lot of crude humor. Basically, think of this as like a live action South Park show. And I mean, they go there with some stuff and they make fun of everything and everybody. And they never take nothing back. However, ironically, they made fun of Kim Kardashian in one episode. Then, in a couple of seasons later, she appeared on the show. I bet you anything, Kanye, being crazy Kanye, is all like, y'all gonna apologize to my wife and have my wife on y'all show and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And next thing you know, she was on the show. But I'm just assuming. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. So anyway, Caroline's talking about how her tights are crotchless and there's some stains in the crotch area. And she's wondering who had a happy ending who wore these tights before. So she doesn't want to wear them and everything. And she's like really, really grossed out and stuff. So at some point in time, Caroline's father calls her and tells her that like he doesn't want her to visit him in prison because it's too depressing and everything. He doesn't want her to see him like that. Now at this point in time, we still don't know what he looks like. This angers Caroline to where she's just so sad and depressed because all she wants is to have her old lifestyle back, and she will never have that. Actually, I don't know what the last season was really about. I skipped a couple of episodes. I don't know if I watched the finale or not. So anyway, so all I know is that, it's sad because it's weird growing up one way and then losing everything. You have to like downsize, but she had to extremely downsize and stuff. And so she's grumpy throughout this whole thing. And then so her and Max had to do something. I forget what, but they had to stay up all night and do it. I think they had to I don't know what the world they had to do. But so Max gives Caroline some energy drinks. She does not sip it. She guzzles them down. And so when she's there at the Christmas crap, she's tired and she's wired at the same time. So she's just like Speedy Gonzalez, just like acting like running around and everything. And then it happens. The woman who hired them, she saw Max and how curvaceous Max is and wants her to play Mrs. Claus. So Caroline is down one elf and she does not want to do this alone. And she's pissed at Max because of this. So then now Merry Christmas, who she did like, is getting on her nerves. Needless to say, Caroline, when the kids were around Santa and stuff, which I don't think we get to really see Santa, Max talked about how like handsy he is and stuff like that, and when they was inside the little thing. And so Caroline is wired, tired, and depressed and angry. And so when the kids are talking about what they want for Christmas and all this other stuff, Caroline's all like, I had that too. I had that. And then she gives the kids a rousing speech that is not good. Talking about how like working for stuff doesn't matter, getting stuff doesn't matter, Christmas is a joke, Santa is a joke, nothing in life matters. And Max is trying to calm her down, and so is the woman who hired them. Then Merry Christmas gets involved, and she's all like, stop it, you're ruining Christmas for the kids. And she's like, Christmas? I'll tell you what Christmas is about. It's about a father who's locked up in prison and blah, 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 and this and that. Merry Christmas shoves her into like a display. Now, the one thing that Beth Bayers, the actress who plays Caroline, is really good at, she's good at physical comedy. She has a new show on CBS. I haven't watched it. Kat Dennings is the one who plays Max. She has that doll something show on Hulu, which is really weird because it's like a giant cat lady with a big head. I don't understand that. But anyway, so the woman who hired him is all like, make that woman close her legs so I can see like her area. And there's kids around. Needless to say, they didn't keep those jobs because they got fired. And so when they go back to the apartment, Caroline is upset by how she acted, and Max is trying to like calm her down, and then she lets her see her horse Chestnut, which cheers her up. But then they're upset because they don't have the mixer. But Caroline did a little something. Before they got kicked out the mall, Caroline stole the little wooden spoon that Max was originally gonna buy to stir like the cupcakes and stuff. And she's all like surprised that Caroline did that and stuff. Because Caroline realized like, look, man, she's poor. She gotta do what she gotta do, and stuff like that. And sadly, that's how a lot of people are, and why people steal and stuff. Bah humbug! That was a good episode. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.